Hello, I'm Jerry Scheidbach, pastor at the Lighthouse in New Britain, Missouri. Trump is Obama white. Obama calls himself a Christian, and yet he has some very unorthodox views, for example, about prayer. Essentially, if you examine his view on prayer, it comes down to him talking to himself. Trump calls himself a Christian, and yet he has some very unorthodox views, for example, about prayer. He says he has never asked God for forgiveness. Now, I don't think in all my years being a Christian I've ever heard a Christian say something like that. Obama is a political street fighter, a name caller, a bully, denigrating others. Many examples are available. And one of the more infamous is his accusation against those he considered to be prejudiced that cling to their God and their guns. You might remember that one. And when he effectively told his political opponents that they had nothing to say he'd be willing to hear, when he arrogantly said concerning those speaking against his policies that, I don't want to hear a lot of talking going on out there. Wow. Trump, a political street fighter, a name caller, a bully. For example, recently, when frustrated with Rubio's insistence that Trump admit his duplicity in the matter of immigration, he got angry and called Rubio a liar on national TV. In fact, called him a little liar. And when Cruz confronts him honestly about his record, he attempts to dismiss him by simply calling him a liar, never specifying what either Rubio or Ted lied about. I guess when it comes to Trump, if you are insisting that he fess up to the truth about himself, then you are a liar. And then, of course, don't forget when 6'2" Trump, towering over 5'10" Rubio, calling him a liar, said to him, "Be quiet, just be quiet." And then this bully, referring to Rubio as that little guy. Now, Trump is actually worse than Obama in this regard. He's openly petty. I mean, he uses the tactics of a schoolyard bully. He is Obama white. Obama has a socialist view of the role of government in private business, right? For example, the bailouts, the stimulus, particularly the taking over of Chrysler. Trump has a socialist view of the role of government in business. For example, Trump approved of all of Obama's economic policies, particularly the bailouts, the stimulus, and the taking over of Chrysler. In fact, when Trump was asked about the takeover of Chrysler, he said he believes government can and sometimes should take over private business. Imagine. Oh, my friends, and don't forget this. Trump believes if it serves the interests of government, it's okay for government to take private property and give it to private developers like him. Remember Vera Koking. For example, the widow whose property Trump wanted to develop for parking and a limousine pickup for his casino. She didn't want to sell it, so he got the government to attempt to take it by eminent domain and then turn it over to him for his private business. A socialist view of the role of government in our lives. Trump is Obama white. Obama, a socialist view of the role of government in our personal lives. For example, Obamacare. Trump, a socialist view of the role of government in our personal lives. For example, in his view, Obamacare doesn't go far enough. No, he wants to replace Obamacare with a fully nationalized health care system. Now, he has said that repeatedly. He wants national health care paid for by the government. Trump is Obama white. While there are some differences, almost all of them are views newly embraced by Trump. Obama's pro-choice and voted against the Born Alive Protection Act. Yeah, Obama would have babies murdered by doctors after a botched abortion. Imagine that. Well, Trump has been pro-choice all his life. Before, he said that he would not ban partial birth abortions. And yet, lately, he has converted to a pro-life position. However, he accepts the idea that we should sentence a baby conceived by rape or incest to the death penalty. Can you imagine that? He would have a baby conceived by rape or incest aborted. That clearly tells me that he is not pro-life on the ground that he believes the baby in the womb is actually a human being. So what is the ground of his newly formed pro-life position? Clearly, it's not the life of the baby in the womb. What is it? Political expediency? I think it's a fair question. Obama is open borders. Everyone knows that. And he wants to legalize all illegal aliens. That would be persons who are here in violation of our immigration laws. Well, surprise, Trump actually also wants to legalize illegal aliens. Now, he has a different plan for accomplishing this. Trump wants to build his wall. He wants to stop the ingress of illegals. He wants to deport those who are here now with a provision to let the good ones back in with a path to citizenship. According to current law, however, those who violate our entry laws forfeit any hope of citizenship. Besides, Trump has recently admitted that his blowhard talk about immigration is merely an advance or opening salvo in his negotiations with, his friends in Washington, like Pelosi and Reid. It's his opening bid, if you will, in a negotiation he intends to engage in over the issue of what to do about illegal immigrants and so on. I mean, it's like what he said in his book, The Art of the Deal. And like he admitted, by the way, in a closed off-the-record session with the New York Times editorial board, he knows that if he becomes president, he'll have to wheel and deal and negotiate this whole thing. In other words, friends, if you get your wall, I'm telling you right now, it's going to have a huge open door in it. If you get deportation, well, it won't be get all of them out and bring the good ones back. It'll be keep the good ones here and only make the bad ones go out. It'll be something, or in other words, basically what Obama is doing right now, or what he says he's doing. I question Trump's sincerity, and I'm going on record right now questioning that sincerity. First, Trump has had the hands of many open borders politicians deep in his billion-dollar pockets for years. Second, he has hired illegal aliens to work on his projects and has been fined over $1 million for that in the past. Third, his current position is an effort to have it both ways. He wants to deport those here illegally and then let them back into the country with a process that includes citizenship, contrary to current law. He's either ignorant of the law or, like Obama, he's disregardful of the law, disdainful of it. His explanation for why he used illegal hires for his projects in Florida, for example, is very Obama-esque. Essentially, laws are only man-made rules, and when he thinks it's justified, they can be set aside. He's a law unto himself. He's above the law. If it gets a little too hot in Florida, it's okay to break the law. One wonders what will happen when it gets a little hot in the White House. So, even in areas where Obama and Trump disagree, they are more alike than not. Trump is Obama white. Oh yeah, and this, as I conclude, no matter what we brought out about Obama, about his past associations, about his political and ideological beliefs, about his actions, no matter how often we showed from Obama's own mouth his socialist and racist tendencies and his disdain for America as founded, no matter what we brought out, no matter what facts we put in front of the people, his followers blindly followed him, like cult followers. Remember the teachers leading children in hymns of praise for Obama? I mean, it's exactly the way they hail their rulers in countries governed by dictators. And we're witnessing the same phenomenon with Trump. No matter how much we point out his past associations, his past behaviors, and even when we show from his own mouth the truth about his agenda, his followers are blind to all unflattering facts about Trump. As he said himself, his followers would stay true to him even if he shot someone in cold-blooded murder in the middle of a street in Manhattan. Trump, like Obama, has a cult following. Now, we can only hope that enough of his groupies will shake out of their hypnotic trance to see the truth before it's too late. And we end up with 4 or, God help us, 8 more years of Obama, because the fact is Trump is Obama white. My dear friends, as I conclude, God complained that Judah had set up kings, but not by me, he said in Hosea 8:4. Certainly, and we're grateful that God has given to us the power to appoint rulers, as he did to Israel. But they abused that privilege and so finally lost that liberty. Likewise, God, having given to us the power to appoint our rulers, he requires us to do it by him. Friends, if we continue to abuse this right and this privilege that we have to appoint our leaders, then we're going to lose that right and that privilege. And we're going to come under the power of oppressors just like Judah did. And that's something to think about.